Hello, my name is Jonathan Chatfield. I'm going to talk about a huge topic that is going on in our elderly community, and that being depression. So, first, let's talk about depression in general. It affects more than 14 million people a year in the United States. People tend to be more isolated with depression, like the top picture, and in the bottom picture, like Robin Williams, sometimes you don't even know if they're suffering from depression. A few signs of depression include forgetfulness, confusion, very tired, no motivation, or sadness. A lot of elderly people are wrongfully diagnosed and could have been treated for depression if only were paid attention to of these signs. Elderly people have a huge chance to have episodes of depression, meaning that this depression affects nearly 20% of Americans aged 65 and older. That is a huge percent. That 1 out of 5 people are depressed that's over 65. That is crazy. So, what causes elderly people to be depressed? Well, one reason is fixed incomes. They don't have a lot of spending money to do what they dreamt of doing. They just had dreams and it didn't come true, and it's just very sad. Another reason for depression is their health. Maybe they're not able to walk very far, maybe go to the grocery store, or even walk around their house. And depression starts to hit right here, where they're more dependent on others. There are two basic options. One, they live with loved ones and their family members, and the other is take them to a nursing home. Hopefully, not a nursing home run by Ben Stiller. Now, don't get me wrong, nursing homes are needed and they are a good thing. They help house our loved ones and take care of them when we are not able to take care and assist them. However, we just need better monitoring of our patients in nursing home and try to keep the numbers of depression down in depressed patients. As you can see from the chart over there, it's a lot higher than we want it to be. So, semi-fun kind of fact from the great CDC says that nursing homes have the highest depression rates than the rest of the assisting living programs. This is something that we need to help monitor and keep an eye on, like I was saying in the last slide. Just try to be in an elderly person's shoes. You lived your life, and now your health is declining, and you're living in a retirement home. They start to begin to think that this is their final chapter and their life's about to end. Another big reason you would be depressed is that you feel trapped. If you never leave the retirement home, you stay in those walls, and even if you go outside, you're very limited to the gardens that you're allowed to be at. So you just feel very trapped. These elderly people start feeling alone and unwanted. Just like this image depicts, a glazed look could be a deep, depressed thought process that is going nowhere good, and these are the signs that we need to be looking out for these patients. So the reason why we need retirement homes is the lack of care that we can give. Like Alzheimer's and the movie The Notebook, that retirement home can better suit the main character there where her family could not. So that's the reason why they put her in there to help assist. So patients come in to get medical imaging from nursing homes all the time and they complain about being there. We have to listen to them. Once they realize that no one is listening, depression hits hard and suicide becomes more likely. Now, France had a very similar problem for a whole year in 2004. Every week, over 60 elderly people were committing suicide. This was a serious cry for help, and the government listened. Way to go, French government! Abandonment was huge there in France, so they made it a requirement you must visit your family member every so often each month. If they live by themselves, you must give them an allowance so they won't get depressed over money. Now, if you were still reported that you're not seeing your family members, then the judge would be in control on how severe the fine would be. To me, that is a lot more scary than knowing the number of the fine. Not knowing could be a huge number and be penalized. We need to adapt these laws and enforce them like France does. We cannot abandon our loved ones, but it is not heavily enforced, so this is why our numbers of suicide are up, and mainly it seems like by firearm, and there's different versions, and that's just really crazy. It's almost like the song Cats in the Cradle. If our kids see how we treat our parents, I mean, what do you think they're going to do when it's your time to go somewhere? They're just going to be doing the same circle. We don't need to think about how to change it. We need to be the change. So, how do we do that? How do we make the change? We need to show our elderly people that nursing homes can be a positive thing with the right guidance and involvement that still stay within the family's parameters and still be connected with them. One way to help your loved one cope to a nursing home is change the room setup. If you make the room more familiar to what they're used to, then they would actually feel more peaceful at their new place and feel more welcome there. Another good thing to positively spin onto your loved one is that there's plenty of other elderly people there with them, so they can actually start becoming friends and having companionships rather than just sitting there thinking about what their family's doing and have their free time be more about friends. The biggest way to keep in contact to the family is by the digital world. They can still be doing this with that. They can be FaceTiming, phone calls, text message. It helps keep them in touch, and it's very easy at night to do while you're just sitting there, too. So if you have the time to volunteer at a local retirement home, I would strongly urge this. I did this in college, and you just make their day by listening to them and making them laugh. They make them have the biggest smiles I've ever seen. If you had to take anything from this talk, just remember that we need to incorporate France's enforcing laws on nursing homes. We need to know the signs of depression, and we need to know ways to help them situate to a nursing home. Oh, reference, reference, reference. Look at that right there. Way to go. Most of you've probably already left this page. Whoa, look at those. Look at those things right there. In a couple seconds, guess what? There's going to be another reference page. Here we go. Another reference page. Reference, reference, reference. There's really only one person looking at these right now. Just want to thank you so much.